So beautiful people. So, last night we had a visitation. Me, had a visitation from a frog who sat on my step where I like to sit and listen to the jungle at night, and it just wouldn't move. Just sat there looking at me. And then I was very aware of a spirit that was just by my door. It kept making noises, um, but it wasn't reaching out to me. It was just making sure I knew that there was a presence. And then I sat in the room with some cards and talked to them and just asked the jungle what it wanted. And it was saying it wanted me to reach my energy out into the jungle without going out there at the moment. But so I give an energetic presence, and if the jungle says yes, then it will invite me in. So it's a really this energy of respect for the natural world and respect for the nature spirits. So I thought that's fine, we'll do that. How do I do it? Because this deck, this shamanic oracle deck, the Jumanjics, I feel it is the jungle, and yet when I shuffle it, it's not connecting with the jungle, and I need to connect it with the jungle to get the messages that the natural world is wanting to bring us. This is definitely lower heart chakra, Saturn, and Saturn for me is in house Aries, along with Chiron. And so there's something I need to work out about bringing fire, and they kept showing me me bringing fire, and I don't know how that happens. This morning I woke up and was thinking, didn't have any dreams, didn't have any sense of the jungle, and it's like, no, you've got to engage with the natural world, but without being in it, you've got to give it respect. I'm going to keep repeating that, I'm sure. And then I remembered about, I don't know, 13, 14 years ago, a friend of mine and I, he had a small record label that he started called 13 Records, which I don't think I'd ever quite made a connection with at the time. And we made an album that was all about meditative music, and we called ourselves Kyanite. And here is my piece of Kyanite, and I absolutely adore Kyanite. I always used it when I taught people to sing, because it's called the Stone of Kings. It gives you the ability to speak. Kyanite also cannot hold any negativity, and it can cleanse other crystals. It's very good for the throat chakra. You can also get green, orange and black Kyanite, but I've left those all over Europe when I've visited places. So the only piece I have left is my blue Kyanite, and something tells me I've got to give it to the jungle. The strangest thing is I've always had Kyanite pieces, and I've always given them to pupils. And I just used to have, every time I'd get a new one, I'd get a new pupil, and then I would have to, so there's something about, I have to let go of this deeply precious Kyanite stone. But to go back to the album, we called ourselves Kyanite. The album was called Sound Sculpting, Earth Tones. So there was one for C, the root, one for D, the sacral, one for E, the solar plexus, and one for F, the natural world. And the music is available online. You can hear it, I think, on Spotify. I'll put a link in the description box to the name. I'll put the name. I can't put a link because I don't know whether it will play in your territories. You'll have to look it up yourselves if you want to hear it. But I've never received a penny. My friend Kinan, who I wrote it with, he died of cancer. And so it's just a sort of a project that I'd kind of forgotten about. But I have the album. I bought the album myself, and no one ever wrote to me and said, here are your royalties. And on, I think there's a thing called Last FM. I mean, that track's been, the City of Jewels, the E track, has been played 178 times, I mean, I'm sure it would just be pennies. But I thought I would take a risk. This video might not be up for very long, but I'm going to play the Natural World track as I shuffle the cards, because if someone gets in touch with me and says they own the recording, I can get in touch with them and say, where's my payments for it? So there's something of a kind of dark of the dark solstice naughtiness coming along here. I don't know how long this video. It might be that no one comes forwards and it just stays up, and then I know that no one claims ownership of this music. But as I say, it was me and my friend Kinan. He was an excellent music producer and he was great with rhythms. Beautiful, beautiful man. And I did all of the kind of melodies, and I composed the sort of harmonies quite often, and played them all on a computer. So all the flutes and all of the guitars and things like that are all played by me. But both of us are also singing, and it's the kind of sounds that I use, the parts of the body they connect to haven't changed. They're still true today. So there's 4 tracks, and then there's a 5th track, which was kind of like a preview on what was going to be the second album that never happened, which was going to be the spiritual tones. We were going to go through all 12 tones eventually, but so you do get 4, C, D, E and F, and then you get one track that's F sharp, G sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A and B, just as a short little sort of a tease of what was to come. And it is, as I say, out there, and I think you might enjoy it. But so what we're going to do first of all, before we play, is we are going to tone. You're going to tone along with me. We're going to do the F of the natural world. This room looks splendid with the light round there. I feel like I've got a kind of natural world halo on. So let's have an F, and let me try and reach my energies out into the natural world, and then I'm going to put the track on and shuffle some cards, and then we can all wait and see if someone comes along and says they own me and my music that I did with Kinan. Oh look, it won't even let me play an F. There's something blocked inside it. There we go. That was really interesting. So an F. I have to take my glasses off to do this because they get in the way. There's my little fly spirit. It's just turned up, walking across the top of the chair that the computer's sitting on. Now there's a butterfly. First butterfly was white, second butterfly was a really big yellow one. Two. I'm going to put the music on because someone's got a microphone going off down there. I'm really not interested in what he's saying. So here is, this piece is F, and it's called Gaia, Natural World. And it's, oddly, the middle section of it goes into a rhythm which I have an obsession with, which is 13/8, which means there are 13 beats to the bar. So at one point you'll kind of hear 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 D 1 2 D 1 2 1 2, and that adds up to 13. And yet it somehow sounds very natural, and the kind of chaotic beauty and randomness and unstructured 12 frequency that this 13 rhythm brings, which is the natural world. So here is my piece. Fingers crossed that the video stays up, and if it doesn't, then I might find out who owns my tune and ask them why I've never had any pennies for it. So that card got caught and then flew over there, but I feel like I'm being told to shuffle a few more. It flew like an eagle. I'm getting a sense of this about a kind of energy of timing, clockwork, cogs. There's a motion that something can't strike down until the right moment for it. And then I have Earthkeeper. This is the Earth Spirit. This card, if any, right now, would represent the Shadow Walkers that I sense all around this area. Spirits. I don't mean spirits of the dead either. I mean spirits of the natural world, animism. Spirits that demand respect. And then we have the giveaway with the Time Master. So again, this giveaway energy is like reaching up for something lost, reaching up to retrieve, which in many ways with this music, it is a little bit like reaching up to retrieve it, but also this has got this energy because it's either side of the Time Master, and we often joke about the Time Master being me. This notion of I have to reach up to the spirits of the land, and I have to do that with, it's like I have to reach up to the light. I have to acknowledge, because they want me to do this in the darkness, because at night the energy of this place becomes alive with frequency. It's a very nocturnal space. So, got the Alchemy of Astrology. Characlo, graceful enforcer of boundaries. There's a pattern, there's a reverence, there's a means, there's an etiquette to how I move forwards in this space, and I have to be very aware of the boundaries. So the army ants that invaded me were telling me that the spirit of the land can come for me at any point, and for all of us. But if we can reach out to the land with reverence, gracefully understanding the boundaries that they're holding for us, we can make a deeper connection. It's very odd doing a reading with music on, even if it is my own. This is the bit that's 13A. So this feels like truly the first time this energy, like the spokesperson, the spirit that's coming through that made noises around me, is describing their essence as having sacred rage behind it. And it's not anger. That's the really interesting frequency. It's the core nature, the heart and soul, the Saturnian F of the natural world. And it's a scent more than it's just an energy. But the rage is, it's like the growth of the natural world. I read an article that said jungles can completely regrow within 20 years. My host, who's obviously the mango farmer here, he said, within 3 months, you can't move if you don't watch the land. There's a rage in which nature wants to consume the land that is the natural world's land. It's us who have invaded the natural world. So it's a really beautiful energy of Eris. And we have the moon, the third eye, and then Cancer. So the moon is the moon is what we don't see through the veil. It's really interesting. It's turning dark. The light out there's not changing. But I'm being swathed in the darkness. So the moon, the third eye, it's talking about there are messages that are not currently visible that will be coming forwards. I've now got ants on me. And we have Cancer, which is solution. So alchemically, it's when you dissolve something in a liquid. So the natural world is the liquid, and I've got to dissolve my frequency into the natural world. This is about ancestral miasmas. This is to reabsorb. It's like they're saying to me, you've forgotten. You truly have been absent from the energy of the natural world. I'll be honest, I am a little bit scared. I am always protected, but there's an immense frequency that I have to, just show enormous reverence for. It's so funny how this card, Solve, it's another 9, and there was a 9 here. It's 1881, in fact. It's a mirror. I have to resolve to mirror my intentions and mirror the natural world in its rage, in its true essence, which is to consume and grow, to draw in and expand. It's very interesting. And there's something of this energy that always has that frequency of use. But it's to awaken myself, ourselves. I'm telling you this story, but nature wants us all to do this. It doesn't matter how ferocious your natural world is. You need to find a spot, and you need to astrally project, as I have to, into the world. Walk, be a shade, walk your energy just like they do. There's something I feel about the shades who are other dimensional. Yes, we see them here, but they feel like their essence, their core truth, is located somewhere else. This is the most beautiful message. So, I'm just pausing because the track's going to end. Juno and Venus. So, that's good. Let's see if we get told off for that. So, the final message, Juno and Venus. If you reach out, if we all reach out, if we astrally project our being as a shade walking through the natural world, witnessing it, create your relationship with the world in your third eye, you will merge your hearts. But you won't get this Venus merging if you don't approach the natural world first. The lower heart is where the merging begins. And I just find that fascinating, because that's what yesterday's message in this same space was all about. It was about how our hearts have to start to merge. Because when we incarnate, our consciousness is Venus, the higher heart, the F sharp. The F is our connection, our physical body's connection to the real world. So, fascinating. I hope you enjoyed that little reading. It's only very short, because as I say, the upload speed's quite slow. I feel like there's something creeping up behind me, you know. As long as it's not that boa constrictor. You have to all shout really loudly if you see it appear in one of the windows. So, yes, merging of the souls, because they're separate. They have to be separated for us to gain access into this world. And there's something about learning how to bring those two energies back together to create, not them combined, but like a third frequency somehow. And I don't know how that works, but I do think it's probably aquamarine. That's a little heads up. Anyway, wassail, hope you like the tune. Don't know what you'll do with it as such, but if you enjoyed it, there's other tracks and you can have a listen to them. And maybe at some point I'll get some kind of money for the fact that I made some beautiful music once with a beautiful friend. So wassail.